From the mind that brought us Danganronpa, we have Akudama Drive, a new anime original that visually is second to none right now for first episodes of the fall 2020 season. I've been so excited for this show ever since it originally got announced, and I know just with Real World pushing everything back, I mean, a show that was looking this good visually from the PV I knew needed as much time in the oven, and holy shit did they deliver. This show is wild. It is cyberpunk, neon, everything you look at this. It is beautiful and visually striking. Technology is crazy, it's unique. The idea of a criminal organization, these Akudama warriors basically, all going by different code names and they're all kind of competing for different rewards and bounties and things like that, and how an ordinary person gets roped into a situation where now everyone's wearing a bomb around their neck, and I guess they're gonna have to follow and play by the rules if they don't want to end up splattered like some people in this episode. It's just so insane and is so thrilling. This I thought I was going to love just because of the amazing and very unique style visuals, but it did give me a very Guilty Crown style vibe where not only visually did it seem striking, but it seemed like a kind of interesting going against the government style story, and while people make their jabs at Guilty Crown all they want, visually it's second to none. And it gave me that feel like it was the next version of like making anime fans say that doesn't look like what we assume anime looks like, and blowing us away visually, and hopefully the narrative could back those amazing production values. And so far with the first episode, they're doing so. The pacing is lightning fast, it is wacky, they just keep the momentum going and going and going, but the great thing about that insane speed is it plays into the charm that they're going for. This isn't something that's slowing down and having these like really heartfelt moments right now. It's literally like, here's a bunch of criminals, and this is how insane they are. You gotta understand who they are as they all basically go to one location to save Cutthroat, who is literally someone who cuts off people's heads and is sentenced to death. And what do you have to do? What do you do to kind of bring it back down to earth? Well, you have a general girl who's just been chasing a cat, just so happens to get thrown in jail because she didn't pay for her food. And goddamn, is unlucky money really unlucky, because one of the criminals in this episode, Courier, he's like, hey, money falls on the ground, that's bad luck. And she's like, you know what, I should probably pay him back because this is his money, he's probably just, I'm just being a good Samaritan. Gets thrown in the slammer and gets the codename from the police, Swindler, and they're all about to kill her, and she's like, no, I'm actually a part of the Akudama, I'm Swindler, I'm just not on the list. And I'm like, oh god, this girl's gonna be in for some rude awakening. And what's funny is the episode kind of starts off and you're focusing on this cat. I'm like, oh, this cat's gonna have a lot of importance. I was like, is this like a person who's in a shapeshift or something? Are we getting all supernatural? And then quickly they just kind of made me think it was literally a red herring and just literally a plot device for the main character, or one of the main characters, I assume, to end up in a very nasty situation. And then by the end of the episode, the cat talks, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? This show, you can tell it comes from this man's mind, because this is pure insanity. It's visually striking. The music is amazing, I have to say. Already one of my favorite soundtracks of the season, and depending on how the music continues to evolve and incorporate itself with the scenes at play, might end up being not only my favorite visual production, which I don't think there's going to be any competition, at least for my personal preference, but also my favorite OST of the season, while it also could be my anime of the season. Everyone has their favorite anime, everyone has a lot of like good anime to pick from this season. Just this show, like, I thought I was going to love it visually, but I was like, I wonder what they're going to do with the story, because to me, when I read the synopsis, it sounded like it was going to be one of those shows where the government's hunting down so-called criminals, but they're actually pretty good people. And what we see in this episode is a doctor who, oh, this person's having a heart attack on the train, let me just operate on him in the middle of everything, and as people get in my way, I'll kill them. Saves one life but kills 12 in the process. You have someone who literally is, dropping in on a motorcycle using grappling hooks to spin around, dropping, handing a present, going outside for a cigarette basically as the building explodes. You're seeing non-stop bloodshed, and you can tell, even if personality-wise they're fun to listen to, they're criminals 100% through and through. And while it definitely was set up almost like a UFC tournament where it's like, okay, let's get ready to rumble here, because now we're gonna see Cutthroat get killed. And it was kind of funny because they're using a guillotine, which is like the most medieval way to kill someone, and they're in the most futuristic setting, which just gave me a giant grin. This dude probably deserved to die. I mean, I'm willing to give these characters a chance to say like, oh, they're not actually criminals, but it feels that way. Even if they are hunting down mostly bad people, they're also hurting good people. I mean, you don't kill people on the train unless you're actually criminals. And I'm going to be interested to see how our main female character, this Swindler, which is listed as ordinary person on my anime list, which had me rolling. I thought honestly originally when they were listing all the characters' names like Brawler and Courier and things like that, Hacker or whatever, I thought it was because like they just didn't know what the name was and it was like their code name. It appears like that's actually going to be their name. And if we ever do learn an actual character's original name, I feel like it's going to have a lot of importance. This is going to be a 12 episode anime. I was hoping for a 2-core, but looking at the visual production here, I mean, even if it takes a while, like they could easily tell a story in 12 episodes, not need any more. But if they really do want to make something crazy with its world, imagine if we get a season 2 down the line, a couple years down the line, where they once again just reinvent what they could do here. It's always a possibility, but I'm just glad we're getting more original ideas. And most importantly, shifting the anime presentation, because we're so used to what anime looks like and feels like for a majority of anything coming out in any season. But this feels creative. It's like it's reinventing the wheel, something that you would traditionally see in a movie production, not a television anime that's going to run for 3 months. It just feels so bold and creative. It is fun, it is wacky, and yeah, it's lightning fast pacing, don't get me wrong, but it never felt like it was hard to follow and understand what was happening. And it almost felt like we were this ordinary person just kind of getting dragged along, not knowing what we're seeing, and by the time we kind of slowed down, we really could put our head up. We're being surrounded by a bunch of people trying to kill us. And that's a really fun and creative kind of idea for a show. And I think this is going to be a show that's really going to blow a lot of people away. I mean, when you have a very talented mind backing it and, you know, has a series as popular as Danganronpa was, I mean, at the end of the day, I think this is going to garnish a pretty good cult following. But I think even people who have no idea who made it, who's behind the production, I think they're just going to see like GIFs or like little snippets of it and be like, that looks really cool. They're going to watch it and be like, I need more. This is going to be a show that I think I am going to love, and even if it doesn't have the most insane character development or the most original story of all time, just all the little pieces at play kind of merging into Akudama Drive just scream me, and I am ecstatic to see more. If I had to give the biggest compliment on the story or character side, it's the idea of the characters' personalities and how much of a, well, really how little of a shit they give about everything, and the creativeness of the technology and just how it really does feel like a cyberpunk style show where just technology is such on a rise, and it's just like you kind of want to be in this city, but at the same time, after seeing what we just saw, you never want to be in this city. If I had to make like one big prediction about this show, I feel like the people who don't enjoy Akudama Drive are going to say the only reason it got popular or people do like it is because visually it's striking. And that's always a fair assessment if you don't like the story or characters, but for those people who may try to say that towards me, I like the character personalities. I love the idea of actual criminals and a normal person kind of being roped up into this situation. An insane story where everyone has a bomb around their neck and there's no real crazy reason besides like saying, hey, I want you to do this for me because you're all talented criminals, or I'm just insane and want to see you suffer. It's a fun premise to me, and because they are having so much fun and these characters aren't overly serious, the most serious person is honestly the person on a bike and the ordinary person. Everyone else is having fun killing and punching people, and it's a bunch of lunatics having fun doing lunatic adventures, and that's a really intriguing premise to me, and I think they have a lot of potential to really turn it into an incredible story, and even if it stays at what we saw with episode 1, that's insanely fun to me, and who doesn't want to have fun? It's a really great first episode. Go rewatch it later tonight, because this is going to be a show that I am going to have a blast with, and I hope many people will as well. Let me know your thoughts and feelings though down below. What did you think of the story, the characters, the presentation, the music, the voice actors? Because it just feels like a high quality production from every single category, at least in my opinion. But of course, let me know what you're feeling down below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like to show your support and hit that subscribe button if you happen to be new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.